From Road America to Road Atlanta, it's round 3 of the RaceKraft V8 Veterans Championship Split 1. The Petit 150 from Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, 150 kilometers ahead of us. We are live on SimSpeed TV. David Haynes with Daniel Yeaman as the drivers go through qualifying, and we look forward to round 3 of 10. The championship already beginning to take shape.
Sure is, David. Thanks for the introduction there, and welcome back, everyone, to us racing here on a Thursday night, covering your racing action here on a Thursday night, I should say. As a quick sort of look overview here of the season, David, as you said, third week of the season, and whilst it's certainly still early days by every stretch of the imagination, it's looking like Wayne Walker is kicking off this season exactly where he left season 26 off with as our latest Split 1 Drivers' Champion, with 2 wins to his name to kick off this season to start.
Yes, so at round 3, with a couple of street circuits still to come, St. Pete and Long Beach ahead of us. Nürburgring combined, a very interesting one, and then Adelaide, the streets of Adelaide for a season finale. Every single round between here and there mattering immensely for the points championship that Wayne Walker leads at the moment. 2 great races, 2 wins from him has him up top. Ken Latta, his nearest competition this season for the moment. Paul Young jumping up into 3rd, Troy Stonestreet up into 4th, with Dean Logsdale occupying 5th. Our top 10 has Chris Burridge, Brad Doble, Luke Allman, Mark Poynton, and Christian Smart. Travis Hunt picking up points at Road America and moving up the standings. Dan Hall, busy man, not at Road America, and after a great qualifying at round 1 at Bathurst, the DNS from Road America therefore gives him some room to freefall.
Yeah, of course, the 2 drop rounds, which will completely muddle things up, won't be counted until after rounds 7 and 8 of this season. So yeah, every missed race at this point in the season is going to sting. That's why drivers like Sean McNamara are missing from round 1 this season, also down the order at this stage. But we expect drivers like Sean, results historical, and last week as well, we'll see him spring up the order in due course. But that's enough talk about where we've come from, David. Let's talk about where we are tonight with, of course, Road Atlanta, tonight's venue for the racing action.
Bottom right. There we go. To Georgia, just northeast of Atlanta in Braselton, Georgia. Road Atlanta is another relatively historic road racing venue in the USA. And quite a few businesses around here involved in racing since 1969, but it's really, really grown in stature since the 90s when it began hosting the Petit Le Mans, which has become an absolute signature sports car race and one that everyone wants to win. A few modifications, including around Turn 10 and the S's over the years, but it remains a pretty punchy little racetrack, just over 4 kilometers, 12 turns. Big overtaking zone is, of course, the end of that long back straight at Turn 10. Turn 12 is challenging in these cars. Down the bottom of the hill, you can't stay flat out through that sweeper onto the pit straight. Turn 1 takes you uphill. The turn into 3 is blind over the crest, and a sharp little corner it is, and navigating your way down the S's. Big curb on the exit of Turn 5. Drivers have got to ride that, and it never looks easy. It's always a little unpredictable what the car's going to do each time you whack that curb each lap. Around 6-7 at the far side. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to. Around the far side of the lap. Exit off of Turn 7, incredibly critical onto the longest straight of the racetrack.
Yeah, and as you said there, the track has obviously seen changes in time, but it's also retained a lot of its original character. And it's just been things like there's minor adjustments to the flow of the circuit. So great rich history, and since 2019 sponsored with Michelin as the naming rights sponsorship after. And before that, NASCAR had, NASCAR still owns the circuit, but yeah, it's been through plenty of things, and hopefully will be around for quite a while to come. And whilst it doesn't have as long of a history, at least in Gen 3 machinery, we do have, of course, some drivers of V8 Vets notoriety who have claimed the spoils here before, David. So who will be our third winner, do we think, from this circuit tonight?
Well, there's short odds on one driver, Wayne Walker. Be interesting to see if he can pull that off, and it would give us 3 different winners for V8 Vets. It's Scott Gamble and Jordan Ross already with wins to their name. Pit lane speed here, I think, sits at 72 kilometers an hour. It's been slightly adjusted where the pit speed limit begins. So it happens a little bit earlier. You've got to be a little bit more careful on the pit entry. And yeah, really high speeds at the end of the back straight. A few of our drivers have been joining us on Zoom. It's been a great turnout this season. So
I'll bring that up shortly after qualifying wraps up. We'll see if we get any last late joiners, perhaps. And what we can do in the meantime is we'll turn our attention to what the drivers are going to face tonight here when it comes to race length and the particulars, David.
Yeah, 2 big races, long races to kick off the season. So it's just a sharper 150 here at Road Atlanta, but the pit strategy remains very open with 100% refill capacity, unrestricted tank with 50 starting liters, 2 compulsory pit stops to get through. Fuel burn can be relatively high here with the long straights, but again, only 150 Ks. Compulsory pit stop window opens at the end of lap 2, and it's a free-for-all around there because you could stop lap 2 and then lap 3 and get home. Weird strategy that would be, but the difference between the red line and the yellow line here just means that between about lap 2 and the halfway point could be any situation.
Well, yeah, even if you're a little bit of a lead foot around here, if you had all the fuel in the car at the start of the race, you could make it to the end of the race. Of course, fixed setup and the compulsory stop rules prevent that from being a possibility, but it does mean that a lot of tonight's racing, David, obviously, of course, if you can save some fuel, shorten up your stop, go nuts, and you'll be able to get yourself out back on track faster. But I think the main thing we're going to see tonight, it's a tyre-dictated race. Having actually done some driving here this week in these cars and on the setup that they're using tonight, thanks to another league that's actually run by some of the Vets drivers of current and past. Traction will be one of the big things, as you know, through those difficult sections with crests and the rising and the falling of the circuit. So I think as much as we talk about the fuel with this strategies table here, I think tyres will be the one we want to watch out for. And so I would say even stints and possibly even earlier might be what we see here tonight, not so much going long.
Weather ought to be relatively conducive to looking after your tyres, hopefully. Relatively cool morning is what it looks like for the conditions, and there's the pit lane speed limit, 72 kilometers an hour, but relatively quick pit transit as you turn in from the final corner and then exit to the first corner. Nary a breath of wind from the north, 18 in the air, 19 on the track, and partly cloudy. Good conditions for it. This is a zoom all. Luke Allman is out of his rig. Simon Haynes looks to be out of his. Jeff Thomas is getting ready. Wayne Sanderson with the VR headset on. Paul Young there making his preparations. Greg Sharp getting a warm-up. Championship leader Wayne Walker probably doing his yoga or his breathing exercises, or aligning his center and his chakra. Travis Hunt there, chewing the gum as always, but also getting his warm-up in. Dean Logsdale chatting with some of his teammates. Justin McLean with the boots on and the heel and toe for the downshifts. Christian Smart's ready to go. Second in the championship, Ken Latter.
And with that, there's one last thing I thought I'd do before we hit the qualifying grid and talk you through how they're going to start tonight. A quick recap of where we wrapped up last week at Road America with our M1 used cars driver of the day. And it ended up being our vote going to Jason Spriggs here for Accelerate Sim Racing. 21st place up to 10th. One of our bigger movers of the race, and the combination of a clean pair of heels, good positions gained throughout the race, as well as the top 10 finish was the deciding factors for us here in the broadcast booth, along with Brock Caddy last time out.
Yep, and Jason's back on track tonight. Teammate to race winner Wayne Walker. Bunch of new and multicolored liveries across Accelerate Sim Racing. So Spriggs has got this blue. I don't know what to call it. Is it baby nursery blue? It's not lilac and it's not navy blue. We lock in the grid and you can see the lime green that Wayne Walker gets from Accelerate Sim Racing, and it'll be on the pole position ahead of Ken Latter, the two form drivers this season. Fishy Motorsports machine from Ken, starting out a second place there. Behind them, Brian Borg, a strong qualifying performance here at round 3. He had strong qualifying at round 1, not at round 2. So he's back up front. Paul Young is in 4th. And Justin McLean, 5th, alongside his teammate Dean Logsdale, LMV Sim Racing on row 3. Andrew Rushworth, it looks like, has qualified 7th orange for that Accelerate Sim Racing car. Jeff Thomas has qualified himself in 8th place. Saw Christian Smart on the Zoom wall, and we're going to see him start from 9th. Logan Barnett in 10th after qualifying. Steve Kennedy, 11th for M1 Racing. Damon Fisher, 12th for 266 Sim Racing. Luke Orman, another driver on the Zoom wall, and he is from 13th on the grid. Dean Flavel, 14th. Good qualifying from Dino. John Gallen, 15th place. David Nash, 16th. Jason Spriggs, 17th. The driver of the day from a round ago. And Dave Arney from 18th. Brad Doble in 19th, and 20th is Sharpie, Greg Sharp. Alex Kiedis, 21st on the grid. Travis Hunt on our Zoom wall is 22nd, much further separated from his teammate Jeff Thomas than we're used to seeing. Those two are normally lockstep in their pace. Lorne McKee, 23rd. Chad Lewis, 24th on the grid. Wayne Sanderson, 25th. Ricky Hyde, 26th. Dan Hall is back on the grid and in 27th. David Kirby in 28th. Matthew Stoyles, 29th. Matt Brunt, 30th. Simon Haynes, 31st. Mark Poynton, 32nd. Tim Mulford, 33rd. Phil Manuel, 34th. Simon Hedderscheid from 35th. Shane Randall from 36th. And just 2 other drivers have set qualifying times. Scott McKenzie, 37th, Darren Goosey, 38th. Looks like Reese DeGoey might race, but he's the only driver without a qualifying time. Connor Nixon joins us on SimSpeed TV alongside me. Connor, this is a really great track for these cars. They're really challenged in the final corner through the S's, and they get to stretch their legs down the back straight.
Yeah, definitely challenging. Hi, guys. Good to be back. Yeah, definitely challenging circuit. Raced here on Tuesday. Very hard track. Yeah, definitely the curbs bounce the car around a lot. Traction's always an issue around here, but a lot of fun though. Car slides around a lot, but yeah, you really need to hang on to the rear tires because they are crucial for good exits. And yeah, it should be a good race. Good to be back.
Also really fun will be everyone from about 15th on back taking their standing start from up the hill. A few drivers got caught out with jump starts at Bathurst as their starting grid box was heavily sloped forward. They didn't quite have the line locker and the brake hold working as they'd hoped. No problem for Reese DeGoey. He's back there in 39th underneath the bridge on what looks like a flat part of track. It's those drivers in front of him like Darren Goosey, Shane Randell. They'll be able to get away just releasing the brake. Clutch bite point might be easier for them to find, but Wayne Walker, there he is, pole position, facing towards turn 1 with the inside line. See who can get a good getaway with 37 laps, 150 kilometers ahead of us. The championship 1 and 2 are 1 and 2 on the grid. As the green flag waves, it doesn't look like Ken Latta reacts particularly well. Wayne Walker gets away strongly. Just a tiny bit of 3 wide back there behind Paul Young and around Logan Barnett. This is perfect for Wayne Walker. Christian Smart with a good getaway gets a spot. Damon Fisher picks one up. Jeff Thomas is dropping a little bit further back. This is turn 3. You can't see it until you've already turned in. That's Christian Smart sideways.
That's probably going to be a safety car. Christian Smart around, and he's in the fence. Car looks good. He's actually going to get away with this. Wayne Walker with an awesome start there. He's been on good form, so very good start. Dan Hall is out, and he's back on the track there now.
2 drivers off in the opening part, but both of them continue some car-to-car contact, but not particularly heavy wall contact. So Dan Hall in 27th now, the inside of turn 7, just in behind Stoyles by the looks of things. Half a second lead for Wayne Walker. Dan Hall does not get particularly good traction off turn 7.
Yeah, talked about traction in the early piece of the broadcast, and it definitely looks like a factor already. We see these cars have a little bit of a cold tyre phase, and yeah, it definitely looks like in play here. Dan Hall having a bit of a rough start, getting his feet back in the water, which is always a bit of a difficult challenge, especially at Road Atlanta, and they go over the crest onto lap 2.
Laps come by quickly. Wayne Walker still leads through 1 towards turn 3. This is normally where the tyres are at their peak. The first flying lap on a new set. So they're really now going to attack the racetrack, attack the corners. Looks like some spots being made here just ahead of Dean Flavel. Qualified well, so Logan Barnett and Steve Kennedy battling. Gorman just behind, and then Dean Flavel behind that, exiting turn 5. They all bounce over that curb, get really light and just a little bit sideways. It's not a long run until turn 6, and then braking further to try to pick up a good exit from turn 7.
Logan Barnett with a penalty as well. Wow, there must have been that might have been from Christian Smart. I could be wrong, but that's a penalty. So we'll see what kind of penalty is, and I'm sure we'll get a replay from the broadcast. But yeah, definitely penalty straight off the rip. Lap 2, this will be an interesting one, but I'm thinking it's going to be Christian Smart's incident, and there he is going by there.
Wayne Randall also dropped back behind Christian Smart, but ahead of Wayne Sanderson. Brian Borg sets a new fastest lap of the race. That one could stand for just a little moment until they get onto their next set of tyres after the first pit stop. Logan Barnett is in to serve the penalty. Compulsory pit stop window is open. Chad Lewis, Dan Hall, Mark Poynton, Phil Manuel, and Wayne Sanderson jump in. So actually really clever stuff from drivers like Hall to wait till the compulsory pit stop was open to get those repairs done. Here's the contact between Barnett and Smart.
A clumsy little incident there. You could see Logan was just coming over the crest, and he didn't have heaps of time to react. You could just see there, everyone's just checking up, everyone's just trying to find their groove here. So they come over the crest. You can't really see much. Obviously, we can see a lot. And he just misjudges that, and Logan Barnett goes into the back of him. So I think that was a drive-through penalty from the looks of it, and Christian Smart can get out of that not unscathed, but yeah, definitely not as bad as Barnett at the moment with that penalty. But let's see what he can do. 24 spots back, possibility of him coming back through the field through a safety car.
Christian Smart carrying on with that damage. Dan Hall pitted to get some fixed. Damon Fisher comes in. Absolutely can get your first stop out of the way early here in the short race. But just interested to see what kind of traffic some of those drivers get fed into. Reese Degoe also taking a pit stop. Brian Borg still holds that fastest lap of the race as the tyres begin to heat up and the cars slow down just a little bit running this stint. Nice and close between our top 5. A little bit of a gap to 6th. But Borg, Young and McLean are staying with first and second in the championship.
Racing Brian Borg on Tuesday, he's got some really good pace around here. His long pace is really impressive. He just saves the tyre really well in this car. He kind of just sits there, chills out, goes, okay, what can I do? And then he kind of just goes forward. So it'll be interesting to see what Brian Borg does here. And the Zoom feed, as usual, is always awesome to look at, and a bit of an onboard.
From Walker's driving perspective and Ken Latter's game face, Waka Flocka Ken going hard in the paint.
I love that nickname, by the way. That's awesome.
Front left tyre can take a bit of a beating around here as well. You've got long, fast corners where you lean on that outside front. So turn 1, turn 6, the final corner as well. You just saw how close they all got to that long and uphill turn 1. It just loads up the left-hand side of the car, grazes it across the pavement. Turn 5 exit curb here, always a bit of a lottery. Looks like Wayne Walker gets a little loose, a little sideways, but drives off it well. Ken Latter couldn't quite stay with him.
Yeah, it seemed like Ken Latter didn't open up the corner early enough, so Wayne Walker just got an awesome exit there. Even then he's sliding the tyre, like you can see on the inputs from Wayne there, he is sliding the car, but he is pulling a little bit of a gap, so it is a little bit of a short stint here. So I think Wayne's just trying to get as much margin as he can and run away from the pack. And he's in slipstream. Oh, and that's a lift. That is a massive lift. Oh my God, Kane and Ladder straight up the inside, and he's going to try and get it done. He's going to be on the outside though. Here comes Brian Borg as well. He's going to be in the fight, but I don't think he's going to get there. Side by side into the last corner, and Wayne's going to come out of this. And here comes Brian Borg.
Okay, it gets spicy in this first stint for the race lead. Walker trying to save a little bit of fuel. Brian Borg dives down the inside of them, 3 wide, looking for the race lead. Ken Latter couldn't quite make those spots he wanted. Brian Borg sees them battling side by side out of the final corner, takes the race lead. Offline's not where you want to be through turn 3, and Wayne Walker now comes under attack from Paul Young. So from the lead of the race to a tiny bit of fuel saving to getting boxed around. Borg from Latter, from Paul Young, trying to cement that spot. Will round the outside of turn 5. On that tight line, Walker gets sideways. Now Justin McLean is going to have a little bit of a go at him. In the top 5 is getting spicy.
There's another bomb from Justin. Justin up the inside. I think that was a tiny bit of contact, but they came out of that pretty well. But Wayne Walker just absolutely getting monstered by there. I saw the lift and I was like, oh, that's a big lift. And then everyone just pounced on him. So Brian Borg takes the lead. And yeah, he would be probably thinking right now that lift was not worth it. So Brian Borg in the lead and 3/10 as well. So just for reference, Wayne had 5 on ladder. But yeah, just Brian Borg doing really well now. and he'll just see what everyone does for pit stops now.
Top 5 had a bit of a breakaway, and that scuffle has closed it up a little bit. Andrew Rushworth, I'm sure, loves to see it, from 6th place there, with Logsdale, Thomas, and Steve Kennedy's up 2 spots now into 9th, just behind them there. The day from a round ago, Jason Spriggs up 7 spots. We have had a few drivers from the top 15 pit though, so a few of them jumped out of the way there. And now Christian Smart's going to jump in for his first stop too, well and truly within the pit window if you want to take it. David Nash, 11th, is going to get a drive-through penalty.
Yeah, another drive-through penalty that might have been from a incident. Christian Smart in as well, and he'll be trying to fix up that damage as much as he can, because yeah, that was probably slowing him down a lot, being he had no front bar, so that's probably 8/10 per lap. So he'll be annoyed, but there you go, drive-through penalty, David Nash.
Incident with Dean Flavel, it says. We've already had Lorne McKee serve his drive-through penalty too. A few of them, but that's always how Road Atlanta goes. It is a bit aggressive like that. Turn 3, things get close, big braking zone at turn 10, and this is where it's gone on here.
Okay, it's a big checkup there, and here comes Nash, and Nash just goes straight into the back. Doesn't expect the checkup, but Dean looks like he's trying to come into the pits, but he's slowed down the car so much. You can just see here, Dave's got nowhere to go. Look, he's just pushing him over the hill going, okay, mate, and there goes Dean. So, yeah, bit of an interesting one there. Nash definitely hit him in the rear, but had really nowhere to go. So, yeah, Dean trying to make it safe, but definitely didn't make it safe in the end. So, David Nash getting a penalty, and Dean might have had a unsafe pit entry, but I could be wrong, but it doesn't look like the timing is all good. So Dean's carrying on, and pit stop was 18 seconds. So a bit of a long stop. So trying to get the fuel out of the way and make it a short stop for the second pit stop.
Brian Borg still leading from Ken Latta in 2nd, Paul Young in 3rd. Wayne Walker from the pole is back into 4th place. But he's the fastest car on track this lap. Gets into the high 21s while everyone else is in the 22s. So he's finding his rhythm again. Steve Kennedy was up in 9th. He pits. So a lot of drivers not going to the end of the starting field, but getting their first stop out of the way a little bit on the earlier side. Matt Brunt, as he pits in, might have been caught speeding on the pit entry. 72 kilometers an hour, and those yellow cones have migrated just a little bit uphill. You've got to slow down earlier than in years gone by.
Yeah, definitely. With the recent updates to Road Atlanta, you used to just fire into the pit lane and actually almost touch the wall on the outside just to try and maximize it as much as possible. But now there are cones, and you need to stop. To make it is definitely safer. The old version was hit the brake pedal and hope that you'd stop, but now it's a bit more safer. On board with Paul Young, P3 now, up 1 spot, so he's in a comfortable spot. You can fuel save, obviously being behind ladder, just sitting behind there, just trying to see how much fuel he can save, and we'll see where he jumps out, because I think fuel saving is going to be a big thing in this. Take all your fuel in the first stop, or short fuel it and just jump the guys in front, which wouldn't be a bad idea. Short fueling would definitely not be a bad idea.
Top 5 have sorted it out again, pulling away from the rest of the field. Rushworth sits in 6th, just ahead of Dean Logsdale, and Jeff Thomas in 8th. Down through the S's they go, constantly just feathering the throttle, trying to get the nose to point and get yourself set up for turn 5. The curb on the entry, bit of the curb at the apex, a lot of the curb at the exit. This is on board with Logger.
Dean Longstyle being in a new team with Sean Vandermeulen. So this is a bit of a new outfit for these boys. Recently being in 9.5, so they're doing well. P7 at the moment for Dean, and he's having a quick puff here, and he's probably just seen he's on the broadcast, so wave Dean. And yeah, doing well here though. Just sitting in this second pack here, and this will be basically going, okay, are we going to get a safety car, or what are we going to do? Like, this will be planning at the moment. This won't be an aggressive time. We saw obviously with the top 5 really going at it, but they had some room to do it. So now they've even got some more room. So it'll be interesting to see what the top 5 do for strategy, Dave.
Jeff Thomas in 8th. Greg Sharp hits from just behind them. So this is kind of a little bit of what you can see at turn 3. The answer is not a whole lot. So you leap across there. Jeff Thomas has got his overlays, his discord, his timing. He's mainly focused forward at what's happening between 6th and 7th. Andrew Rushworth and Dean Logsdale up there. He's bouncing across those curbs for sure.
Yeah, the curbs really bounce around the car. You'd think that the cars would react really well to these curbs, but they really don't. You get up on the curb, and the high-speed rebound, it really moves the car around. It's really stiff, so it doesn't really react really well in the high-speed sections, but in the low-speed, it's really nice. They've got a lot of mechanical grip, so these guys will just be trying to not to be sliding in the high-speed stuff, because that's where they're going to get the most high temperature through these sections. And this one's a bit of a fun one, coming across the top of the hill, and that's a bit of smoke. Hopefully that's not from an incident. That was a bit of a weird one. Dean Logsdale into the pit lane though, from P7, and
Christian Smart has maybe had an issue, because he's come to the pit lane for the second time.
Okay.
And there definitely was smoke in the air underneath the Fox Factory Bridge. Dean Logsdale, we saw pitting in from amongst that battle. Travis Hunt comes in too. Perhaps a reaction to Steve Kennedy, who has pitted and was the fastest car on track last lap. It's Christian Smart and Simon Haynes at turn 10. Turn 10A, there's some contact. There's a bit more contact at 10B.
Oh, luckily more cars didn't get involved. It was just 2 involved, but that would explain a lot of smoke. I was watching and I'm like, that's smoke. But yeah, Christian Smart really not going his way this race. A bit unfortunate for him.
That's 2 compulsory pit stops completed for Christian Smart, and he will be able to get to the end from here. Not how he would have wanted to have structured his race otherwise, though, having qualified inside of the top 10. 5 covered by just 2 seconds. Brian Borg. This is all about to open up though. Wayne Walker is headed to pit lane. Justin McLean is following him in. Brian Borg can let Paul Young stay out.
We did see from Pro Series last season, a different series, early pit stops was very beneficial, because you can't really pass around here, as we saw. It's just such a hard racetrack to pass. You almost need something to go wrong to get around these guys. So this might work out for Walker, get a bit of a jump on Brian, and yeah, he might get about 6/10 on the out lap, but we'll see how long Brian goes here. And it looks like Paul Young's got some really good traction out of that corner, so he might have a little bit more tyre life than these 2 in front. So I wonder if he's going to make a move.
They'll all eventually have to make a move to pit lane. Another good exit from turn 7 there from Paul Young. And in the race off pit lane here, Wayne Walker beats Justin McLean. Relatively similar pit stop times. Critically, they're both ahead of Dean Logsdale and Steve Kennedy. Some of those other drivers that pitted early. Kennedy, one of the drivers going for the biggest undercut. Seems to be working relatively well for him. The track is, yeah, I'd say completely occupied. All 2.5 miles, 4 kilometres. Borg, Latter and Young crossing pit entry. Borg in, but Latter and Young stay out.
Now they're going for the overcut. So about 3 laps would be ideal for this overcut. And we'll see where Brian comes out here. I'm going to be interested to see what kind of happens. I know Brian will still be in front, I think, of Walker. But we can see there with the track map. Brian just about to hit the pit box here now and get up on the jack. So see how he goes. Scholl's in as well, and Jason Spriggs as well.
Borg's pit stop underway, 16 seconds-ish, drops, and then he gets to accelerate very quickly up the inside of turn 1 there. He is ahead of Wayne Walker, but with a slightly shorter stop.
Yeah, Wayne Walker, I think he had a 16-second pit stop, so he'll have a little bit more fuel, but he has closed the gap massively, and those guys going a bit longer, Paul Young and Ladder, this will put Wayne straight back into the fight, and that's what he wants. Logan Barnett with the fastest lap time, so showing that he's got the pace after all the incidents he's had, the one incident, sorry. Yeah, he's definitely got the pace, so it'll be interesting to see where he comes out at the end of the race, because yeah, that's a very good lap time.
Ken Ladder, Paul Young, Jeff Thomas, almost everybody else is coming into pit lane. So in this 5-way fight, Borg, Walker, McLean, Latter and Young were about to get the first pit stop from all of those drivers. John Gallen is not going to stop, and it looks like Tim Mulford won't either. So both of those drivers run this first stint very, very long, but the top 5 are about to come back together. Ken Latter already passed 14 seconds of fuel. It's going to take a little bit more than some of the other guys. So this might cede a tiny bit of track position. Wayne Walker gets up to speed, sets a new fastest lap of the race, and in doing so, will go by.
Even that he's 2 seconds longer for Ladder, he's got that tyre advantage now, so he's going to use a lot of that. And same with Paul Young, it will be use the tyre now and catch Wayne Walker, and then in the pit stop you'll jump Wayne. So you don't really need to pass. If he gets onto the back of Wayne, he really doesn't need to pass him. It's going to be interesting with these pit stops now, because they've offset massively, and different fuels and tyres. It's really going to be who's got the shortest pit stop now, and who's yeah, like say for instance Brian, he's got a 15.7 stop, but Wayne's going to close up on him, and Wayne's got the fastest lap as well. So see what Brian does this lap. Car in the pit lane though.
Yes, and that same style of battle is playing out between 9th, 10th and 11th. Steve Kennedy went for a big undercut. Now he's got Andrew Rushworth and Jeff Thomas just behind him, bringing in their new tyres. Rushworth ought to be at about the peak of grip on that new set now. Jeff Thomas is on his outlap, just bringing his in as well. So the undercut has worked for Kennedy to grab a couple of spots. Now, through the mid-stint, the challenge is going to be holding on to them, with everyone completing their first pit stop. Brian Borg's up 2 spots, Justin McLean's up 2 spots, but Steve Kennedy here is up 4.
I'd say for the second pit stop, I'm going to have a rough guess on this one. Ladder would be going late 20s, and then he's probably going to do only like 10 laps on that set of tyres. But everyone else, it's going to be a bit of a struggle now, because they did lap 13, lap 14. That's going to be interesting mid-stint. I feel like Ladder's really going to approach onto the back of these guys. Only 9/10 off McLean, so he'll want to get around him and chase down the rest of them. But Ladder's really got a good chance of winning this race now. This is all in his hands, and Dan Hall coming back through the field as well.
Pitted very early with a short stop. So while he sits in 11th at the moment, he's going to have a long second stop, and his tyres are a little on the aged side. And Jason Spriggs and Brad Doble battling back here. So Doble, the Shadow Racing car, just behind Spriggs. Down the hill, about 200 kilometres an hour in that final corner. They all breathe to about half throttle and try to negotiate their way through that in these cars.
Yeah, try and carry as much speed as possible around this track. It's really just about minimum speed. Obviously, these cars are a bit of a boat, as they've been known. So it's really just minimum speed as much as possible. Through here, it's lifting. Up through here, it's pretty much hit the brake, use as much curb on the outside, and then just run it all the way out. Or use all the curb as much as you can, but try and not get any wheel spin. That's the big key. So that will be Dan Hall's thing. But to be fair to him, he's doing okay. Like, he's not really letting these guys just pull him in. So, and there's a snap of oversteer, as I've said that. Commentator's curse as usual. Another camera here. Luke Allman on camera raced Luke the other night. And he's got some really, really good speed up into 12th now. Now he's got to go and have a look for the move. He'll have to make this nice and quick. And Dan Hall go for a little bit of a defensive move there. Luke Allman sticks to stay behind. So see if he can get him up into T1.
So this is down the bottom of the hill there, but they really try to open it up. Still lots of drivers run wide, kick up the dust there. Gorman sits in 12th place for the moment. Took plenty of fuel at his first stop, so this will come to him. The second stop, Doble getting very close with Travis Hunt. Hold your breath as they go over the crest at 2 and into 3. Looks like Doble's being attacked here, no longer able to go with Spriggs, and suddenly Travis Hunt's having a lunge.
Yeah, Travis, being around for it now, he's done a few seasons and he's got the experience, so just going to have a quick rest here and then get straight back into it. So double right-hander here, third gear, really run this curb so you can grip the car up and then hit the brakes nice and hard, go down to second gear, point it in, and then just try and get as much traction as there. And you can just see how much the cars move around. Like, the rear traction really struggles on that, out of that corner, and got a bit of a wheel collection in the background, same as me. Got 4 wheels now, so I can't say anything about his wheel collection. Up the inside, Travis Hunt, straight up the inside, nice and clean. He's going to try and clear him before the apex, and he does. Great move from Travis there. And now up over the crest and onto another lap.
Doble off pace now, underneath the bridge. Greg Sharp gets by him as well. Alex Kiddis will have momentum, so Doble not faring particularly well in the last couple of laps, going from battling with Jason Spriggs to dropping back. Travis Hunt getting past, Greg Sharp getting past, Alex Kiddis and Mark Poynton in behind him right now. Aaron Borg extending his race lead past 2 seconds. Wayne Walker having come back into second place after the pit stops. Justin McLean third. Ken Latter there in fourth. Paul Young, a bit of traffic going on as well. This being one of the shorter laps, particularly that we've gone to so far this season. They get involved in the lap traffic pretty early, and there's some drivers that have made 2 stops compared to the leaders 1.
Yeah, this is the issue for the lap traffic now. Even if they've done 2 stops, the issue is now trying to not get a lap down, because if there's a safety car, that is a bit of an issue. Here we go. McLean with a pedal cam and hill towing. Good man. On the hill tow. I'm a big fan of that. So is Dan Yeaman in the commentary box. Yeah, he's doing really well here. Up into third. Justin McLean being kind of one of these guys that has been around for a while now. I remember him back in 2021 doing Scott, so he's definitely got some experience with supercars, and you can see just from he's been quick, but he's just been kind of working his way through, just taking his time, and that's really what you want out of a driver. And he's joined the new team of LMV. Try and not botch that up for the guys, and yeah, they're doing an amazing job here as a really new team, so good on them.
McLean in third and Ken Latter in fourth right here. Latter's going to have a little bit of a look, but I think McLean's got it covered. Borg still leading 1 second quicker stop, but a more than 2 second race lead versus Wayne Walker makes me think he is in a pretty good position and absolutely within the window to make your second compulsory pit stop and get home here as well. And it might be tempting for some of them. A little look down the inside of turn 1 for Ken Latta. He's not going to get past Justin McLean. Now they'll get a tiny bit more traffic cleared easily in turn 2, heading over turn 3. Ken Latta.
Yeah, Ken Latta's just trying to get through, but the more he fights, the more he's just going to drop off the top 2. So he's really trying to. Obviously, the pit stop was about 3 seconds longer than Brian Borg, so they're going to be close at the end, but fighting here now is going to be the issue. So he's going to try and get it done nice and cleanly, but Justin McLean obviously is still on the racetrack and racing, so he will defend this as hard as possible, and you can see that really good traction out of McLean's car there. So I'd say the pit stops are open to go and dive in, but it would be a little early. The tyres would be screaming, but right now Ken Latta going up the inside, getting a nice look and braking nice and late and getting nice and close to Justin McLean, and gets the move done on the apex and just drives out nice and smoothly. Justin McLean gives the position, and here comes Ken Latta for the top into the top 3 and going for the top 2 with a bit of a slide out of the last corner.
It all lets Paul Young get a little bit closer. He'd been sitting off the back of them in 5th place. Ken Latta moves up into 3rd with a great move. Andrew Rushworth has got Jeff Thomas and Steve Kennedy right in behind him. So those old tyres are holding on well for Kennedy. Thomas looks down the inside at turn 1. Turns in just a little bit later than Rushworth would have liked. Rushworth is going to lose 2 spots here by the looks of things as Kennedy jumps into the opportunity as well.
Yeah, Jeff Thomas doing a really nice move there. Just trying to keep him out as wide as possible, really opening up the corner for himself. But obviously Andrew didn't really have anywhere to go, and he went, okay, I'm going to turn in now, and obviously couldn't do that. So good move by Jeff Thomas, and just moving forward there. It's really all about T1. It's really about opening up that corner and getting a nice exit. You want to stay to the right as much as you can, so it just makes the car a little bit stable when you come over the crest for T2. So yeah, really nice move there from Jeff. I applaud for that move. That was really nice.
There's a bunch of drivers now that have made their 2 compulsory pit stops. Lorne McKee, Damon Fisher, Luke Orman, a couple others there. Steve Kennedy in behind Rushworth now. Maybe he's about to come in to make his second stop, having gone for the first one early. You'd expect the second one to also be a little on the early side. Travis Hunt and Jason Spriggs exchanging positions in the top 10 as well as they exit the final corner. Travis Hunt is ahead. Greg Sharp and Brad Doble come into the pit lane for their second stops. Still waiting on stop number 2 from the top 5 with 15 laps to go.
Yeah, 15 laps to go, so this is definitely open now for the pit stops, and I'd say Brian Borg would be looking at that lap count going, okay, maybe in the next 2 laps we'll go for a pit stop. Just trying to keep it open, but he might just go, okay, let's go long. Let's try and have the tyres as good as possible at the end, because Wayne Walker's slowly creeping forward and getting a 10th or 2. So Wayne Walker's definitely finding a bit of tyre life at the end of this, out of these tyres here. And there you go for the, there we go, Brian Borg in. So this is going to be interesting because now he's going to have to go long, but he will have some fresh tyres and be able to push hard for these first couple of laps. But yeah, Wayne Walker, this might be going into his play because now he can go a little bit longer, and at the end he will be very fast. So Brian Borg in, about to turn in and be on the jacks.
None of the rest of them follow him, so Walker, Latta, McLean and Paul Young all stay out. It's Borg going first. He cedes a fair chunk of track position. You're also going to get Travis Hunt, Logan Barnett, Dave Harney and others making their second pit stops. There's a bit more smoke in the air at turn 10 again.
Good rejoin by Simon, and here comes into pit lane after that little incident there, he's like, yep, we're done. Tyres absolute fried, and black flag for Simon as well for pit entry. That is a... Oh, yeah, I feel bad for him. I've done it multiple times in practice. It is not nice. And stopped on the box, though. I didn't think he was going to make that. All fours locked up. And here's the replay. Simon Hendershard just rejoining the track as fast as possible, and car behind just knowing that he's going to rejoin, and went on his way. And
72 is the magic number here, not 80 something for a bit. So that's the speeding on the pit entry for Hendershard after a massive front lockup. Joining pit lane, reaction to Brian Borg for Wayne Walker and Ken Latta. McLean stays out. Paul Young got a traction oversteer in turn 7 on this lap. He's dropped back a little bit behind Justin McLean, but he stays out. So Walker, expecting he'll have a slightly quicker pit stop than Borg. Borg had a couple of seconds in his pocket, so this could be very, very close on the pit exit for Brian Borg and Wayne Walker. Ken Latta will be hoping to be not too far behind them either after the fuel that he took at the first stop. I'm sure Brian Borg knows the score, so he's pushing hard, but Walker will have pushed hard on the in-lap as well, and they are absolutely neck and neck between Latta and Walker, but Borg has got them both covered.
he does. Now he just needs to save this tyre and get through this traffic. He will know that these guys have one lap better set of tyres, which, to be fair, is not that massive. So he might have this covered. He's got a little bit of a gap. It's nothing crazy, but he's got that little bit of a gap where he can kind of go, okay, I'm going to rest for a little bit and try and recover himself. Obviously, he's going for these fastest laps now. There goes Wayne Walker. Front lock, and here comes Latta on the exit. Great exit there, and he's going to have a run. Wayne Walker trying to cover, moved over just to go, okay, buddy, this is my track. Latta moving all the way over to the side, not trying to give him any draft at all. Side by side down the straight, neck and neck, door banging. Latta on the outside, he will have a good exit, but not on the entry. Wayne Walker on the entry, here comes Latta, he's going to door bang him on exit, there it is. Banging and shoving the whole way through, up into the last corner. And Latta almost got turned on exit and has got it, and Wayne Walker's going to go for the turn 1 as well.
It all began when Wayne Walker ran wide through 6, just touched a tiny bit of the grass, got sideways going into 7. Ken Latta sensed an opportunity to try to take some points away from the championship leader, and he has gone 10 out of 10 commitment. They've both made both of their compulsory pit stops. It's a race until the end. No point saving your punches now. As that happens, Brian Borg will have absolutely loved it, and I tell you what, it could work out for McLean and Young still get to make their second stops as well. It'll help them out, and that has shown his character, and he's willing to fight Wayne Walker this season. So we've got Jason Spriggs and John Gallen yet to make their second pit stops that are ahead of these drivers. We'll just open it up a little bit for them when that happens. McLean pits from the lead of the race. Paul Young stays out. McLean could end up pretty close to this battling pair.
Yeah, it depends how much they're going to battle here, but Brian Borg has just set sailed and off he goes. So all he needs to do now is really just get into a groove and just really just focus on those apexes, focus on the exits, and that's all he needs to do. He needs to do it for 10 laps, and he is golden. But for these two, a little bit of a different story. It will be who's got the biggest mangoes, and and it will be basically a fight to the death. So this will be a good battle at the end.
McLean won't be quite as close as I thought, or maybe he would have liked. As he comes out here just behind them, and his battle remains with Paul Young for 4th and 5th. Net race lead is Brian Borg, then Ken Latta up into 2nd, muscling past Wayne Walker, who'll inherit 3rd, and then McLean just in behind them there. The driver's yet to take that second stop. Tim Mulford loaded up the tank at stop number 1 and is running really late towards stop number 2. Here's Paul Young, he'll come into the lane. If this stop is sharp, he could be ahead of McLean.
Yeah, I was looking at the when they've all boxed. Paul and McLean have got about two to three laps on Ladder and Walker because they were reacting to Borg. Now the other two behind them are going to go, okay, we've got fresh tyres now. We're going. Like, we're not going to be stopping for you guys. So they will be pushing to get up to the back of them. But if they push too hard, they will burn off those set of tyres. But I think Paul's going to be nice and close here, Paul Young. So here goes Brian Borg into turn one, and look at that, just awesome lead. Paul Young still in the box, and now he's leaving. Okay, so 16 seconds for Paul Young, and he's going to be behind McLean. So I was wrong there, and here comes Paul Young. This will be really good, but it seemed like with that old tyre, he was just losing time throughout the end of that stint.
So McLean has Paul Young pretty well covered off then after stop number 2 for the moment. Brian Borg's race lead is just under 3 seconds. Doesn't look like Wayne Walker has anything to challenge Ken Latta again. So Latta's just broken past a second clear of Wayne Walker there. Top 5 emerge again. So there's first, then second and third. Teeny bit of traffic. It looks like Matt Brunt at the moment is between Walker and McLean, and then Paul Young on his outlap in 5th.
Matt Brunt in 38th. Just letting go the traffic through there. Being nice and clean. Synergy Sim Racing. We did see Jordan Ross in the last couple of series absolute dominate. Same colours. And Matty Brunt's been around for a while. He actually taught me how to drive a V8 supercar way back in the day. So big shout out to Matty Brunt still being out there and kicking. So yeah, definitely have to catch up with Matty Brunt at some time. But meanwhile, Tim Mulford, 25 positions made. That is a remarkable thing, but he still needs to do his second stop. So unfortunately, he'll have to do that. But good effort either way.
Absolutely loaded it up at stop number 1, and stop number 2 is yet to happen. Jeff Thomas has got significantly newer tyres and will get him at least some point in the end, but it might not be just yet. Defensive line into turn 6 from Tim Mulford. Jeff Thomas therefore has just got to focus on the exit of turn 7 here. Should be better equipped for traction, and he is. Thomas is not wanting to be held up too long here as he's trying to cover off Andrew Rushworth and Steve Kennedy. So in the toad until you get into 6th gear, and then over this crest into the descending braking zone at turn 10. Jeff Thomas has his nose in front, he has the inside line, and he has the better tyres. He'll get into 8th place, just needs to seal the deal with good traction off of 10B. It's good enough because you can't go flat out or side by side through the final corner. So Jeff Thomas puts a little bit of a stamp on that one, goes to 8th place.
Yeah, Jeff Thomas having a good race here, making a nice move there. And you were saying about the last corner, you have to do a really big lift to actually not try and hit the grass or the dirt, as you said, and a bit of a struggle. So, John Gallen, these guys actually got a new sponsor, so that was a major sponsor that got posted the other day, so congrats to those guys. Pacific Esports, John Gallen up 14 positions and not made his second stop yet, going nice and long in both of them. So, yeah, just trying to see where he comes out in this second stop. But he'll have 7 laps to go. So he'll have nice fresh tyres right at the end of or at the start of stint 2. So he'll have a lot of fun. Let's just say that.
Just him and Mulford yet to make the second stop, and we're about to change that. John Gallen comes in, clears out the track for Brian Borg. Race leader Ken Latta second, Wayne Walker third, McLean and Paul Young. Tim Mulford here having been passed by Jeff Thomas. Now got Andrew Rushworth and Steve Kennedy closing in. So he's also going to think about hitting, not this lap. He's got until the second to last lap, I believe. I'm not even sure that hanging out for a safety car would actually
It wouldn't.
benefit
It wouldn't
him.
help. Yeah, no, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be good at all. He's actually just losing time at this point. But on on a different note, Ladder and Walker. So they're still battling it out. They definitely. I'd say Wayne wants to get that position back. He's actually been doing some really nice lap times at 4/10 up on Ladder last time around, and another 10th. So pulling it out, and then you've got Justin McLean as well catching and Paul Young, but I don't think they're going to be involved unless these guys really get into it. But Brian Borg still just leading away and just doing really well with just keeping the car on track, really. That's all he really needs to do at this point in time. Wayne Walker with a nice exit there, so he will have a nice run through here. And maybe there might be a chance in T1.
Ken Ladder turns into the final corner from the dirt. So now Wayne Walker has a good run, asking for a car width to the inside of turn 1 that kind of closes up. I thought Walker was entitled to go for that, but then Ladder from the narrow line runs wide, loses 3rd place, loses 4th place. Wayne Walker back to 2nd. Justin McLean, well, he gets a late Easter chocky as he sneaks through into a podium position. Ken Ladder will probably be a bit filthy with himself. Let's not try to lip read.
I was trying to... That's exactly what I was doing. It did not sound happy at all. Love a good Easter chocolate, by the way. I just want to, on your note there. But anyway, moving back to the racing. Ken Ladder just moving back a spot. But for Justin McLean, having those fresher tyres on a podium spot, he actually might have a chance on Wayne Walker here. It is a 2nd, but we've still got 5 laps to go. So, John Gallen
ahead of John Gallen, 16th and 17th, when we saw that Gallen took that late stop. Means he's got tyres to attack at the end here. Might have lost a little bit of time through the mid-stint running long on the older tyres, so now he's got to hope he can clear some of these positions within the remaining few laps. We look at Greg Sharp's perspective racing in VR, and he'll be able to look up at his mirror and see exactly how close John Gallen is behind and how those that fresher tyres might be able to help him. Down the inside for turn 10, he's halfway there, way before the corner either way. Plays out about how you might have expected.
Yeah, he's got the fresh tyres on the whole field until Tim Mulford pits. And he's just, like I said, he's just going to have a lot of fun. You can just see how much he just put on Greg Sharp there, like how much of a gap. And here's Tim Mulford, still not pitted yet. So unless we've missed something, he's
Rushworth
staying
had just
out.
got him. Now Rushworth runs wide at turn 3. And Mulford will get back in front of him, frustrating to Rushworth and Kennedy as they're all over the road through the S's, headed towards turn 5. That lady behind the catch fence has got a great view. Rushworth won't be enjoying his view. Kennedy gets a run at both of them.
So Tim Mulford just getting onto the back straight here now. And like you said, they'll be annoyed. They'll be sitting there going, this guy hasn't fitted and he's still out. When's he going to box? So this will be a little bit annoying for the rest of the field. And oh my God, look at that pack. Oh my God. You can even see John Gallen back there, right at the back of that pack. So yeah, this is going to be interesting. Everyone's just going to get nice and bunched up. And I'd say there might be a bit of a kerfuffle. Oh my God. Falling all over my words and still not pitting.
No, interesting. And there were also some tyre differences in the drivers behind. So Luke Allman and Chad Lewis, 13 lap old tyres. Travis Hunt a little newer than that. Jason Spriggs a little newer than that behind them. So that will close in. I'm sure he'll be kicking himself that he didn't cleanly execute this pass earlier when he had the chance to get ahead. He could have been up the road on the other side of the cork here, but instead there is a bunch of drivers lining up behind him as he's been unable to clear Tim Mulford. He'll get another opportunity now. He needs to hold his nerve just a little bit though.
To be fair to Tim Mulford, for how old these tyres are, he's doing one hell of a job. He's just keeping them nice and... Oh! As I said that, Andrew Rushworth just absolutely almost going into the back of Tim Mulford. And you can just see the tyre difference. You can just see Andrews. hit the brake pedal, and Tim stopped way, hit the brake pedal way early just to get the car stopped, because obviously the tyres will be nice and worn. Is a bit of an understatement, to be fair.
So what I mean from Rushworth is he didn't need to barrel into 7 there. He needed a good exit from 7, but he's attacked the entry rather than trying to maximise the exit. But now the seas will part. Tim Mulford, with 2 laps to go, locks it up going into pit entry. I think he just gets away with it somehow. Goodness knows how. Goodness knows how. There's no black flag for Tim Mulford. So that's great news for Andrew Rushworth up in 8th, Steve Kennedy in 9th, Luke Allman in 10th. Quick drivers right in behind them on some slightly newer tyres. Chad Lewis is already 13 spots up in this race. Travis Hunt up 10. Mark Poynton is up 18th. And he sits in 14th in this pack. So the top 5 have spread out, but 8th through to 15th have been hydraulically pressed together.
Yeah, definitely. That is definitely a good word to use for that one, because, yeah, obviously having Tim Mulford there, everyone has just been nice and smushed together, really. Yeah, this will be on now, but everyone will just have nice and old tyres. So now it will just be basically, okay, try and get it to the end, but hey, I wouldn't mind a position. A position would be nice.
Rushworth moves from one side of the road to the other, and they all follow him in the train. Kennedy and Allman sensing that they could put some pressure on Andrew Rushworth here. Qualified really well. Just a little out of control in a couple of points in this final run home. Brian Bork has started the penultimate lap of the race. Phil Manuel coming under pressure from David Nash. Nash, who had to serve a drive-through earlier in the race, gets around the outside of 10B and up into 25th. Then Flavel just behind here in 27th. Scott McKenzie up 9 spots in 28th. Nash gets ahead of the pack.
Yeah, good drive for David Nash. Even having that drive-through, he's done a good job just clawing his way back through, because that's at least a good 20 seconds. So Tim's back in the pit lane, and Damon Fisher with a black flag as well. So a bit of drama at the end.
Yeah, that's probably incident points for Damon Fisher by the looks of things. We're going to take a recap on Mulford here. So no problems on pit entry. Takes that second pit stop, and on pit exit, it's like, did he not release the limiter? Was he looking at the traffic and trying to blend in behind? And then he's parked it since.
Oh, he's parked it. Oh, wow. So...
No, he's taken a third stop? No, he's parked.
Okay.
I don't know what's happened to Tim Mulford.
Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one. I thought it might have been the blue cone on exit, but I don't think it was. I think he was okay. So that'll be something to review after the broadcast. But here we go.
Begins the final lap of the race. He's 4 seconds clear. Wayne Walker, having moved up into second. Justin McLean, having snuck through into third, feels the pressure from Ken Latta. This all has to come down to turn 10. McLean gets a little bit sideways, exiting 7, which is going to give Ken Latta an opportunity. Paul Young just about a second and a half behind in 5th. Great race from all of our top 5. Brian Borg might be heading towards his first RaceKraft V8 Vets win. Ken Latta would like to be on the podium. He'll get one car width to the inside, but he turns Justin McLean, who goes backwards, goes over the incident limit, tags Ken Latta. Both of them are off track in turn 10. Brian Borg is serene to all of this, because he's going to take the win at Road Atlanta.
Paul Young up into third, by the way. Look at that. Great. And he had it. And Justin McLean's trying to serve his penalty, but that's not going to work. So he's just going to fall right down the field. That's so unfortunate. Dean Logsdale with a P5 as well. Good result from him, which will be 4th from the penalty.
The rest of this pack comes home, so Andrew Rushworth is going to snag an extra spot here, followed home by Luke Orman, Steve Kennedy, Travis Hunt, Jason Spriggs, etc. Well, hey, you don't got a lift in the final corner on the final lap, apparently.
And Hall, yeah, Dan Hall coming across the line as well. He looked very slow, so he was coughing with fuel So he's just got it home. Barney really waving that flag. And here comes Shane Randall and Darren Goosey across the line.
And Randall there coming home in 29th ahead of Goosey in 30th. Last car on the lead lap might be Lorne McKee here. Damon Fisher with that late penalty dropped off the lead lap and he finished 36th. Now that everyone's crossed the start-finish line, iRacing recalculates the post-race penalties and that drops Justin McLean to 28th. He thought he sniffed a podium. He comes together with Ken Latta. And, you know, you race hard for that podium spot. Yep. But both of them, it was a bit messy, and I'm sure we'll take another look at it in due course. But this is the results from round 3. Brian Borg up 2 spots to take his maiden RaceKraft V8 Vets win. Wayne Walker's perfect points streak ends with only a 2nd place. He'll maintain the lead of the championship with that result. Paul Young on the podium in 3rd. Not what he expected with 3 corners to go, but it's where he ends up. Dean Logsdale comes up into 4th. Ken Latta in 5th. I heard race control say something about a post-race penalty, but I don't know to whom and in what numbers. This is just how they've crossed the line. Jeff Thomas in 6th. Andrew Rushworth in 7th ahead of Luke Allman. This was that pack. Stephen Kennedy in 9th. Travis Hunt in 10th. Spriggs up 6 spots to 11th, but Mark Poynton up 20 spots to 12th. John Gallen with that late stop strategy attacking on fresh tyres gets 13th place ahead of Chad Lewis in 14th. Greg Sharp 15th. Ricky Hyde 16th. Logan Barnett, a drive-through penalty and 2 stops, still gets 17th place. Dave Arney in 18th. Brad Doble in 19th. Alex Kiddis in 20th place. Dan Hall was off the road on lap 1, very early first stop, but he still makes up 6 positions to 21st. Matthew Stoyles in 22nd, David Kirby in 23rd, David Nash in 24th, Phil Manuel in 25th, Dean Flavel 26th, Scott McKenzie 27th. And this is why a black flag on the final lap is such a problem. Justin McLean crossed the line 4th, but gets 40 seconds added that drops him to 28th. Shane Randall 29th, Darren Goosey 30th. Last cars on the lead lap of the short lap at Road Atlanta. Reese DeGoey, Wayne Sanderson, Simon Haynes, Christian Smart and Lorne McKee. Damon Fisher, Matt Brunt and Simon Hederscheid 1 lap down. Tim Mulford parking late in the race. Not sure what that was about after he ran long in the middle stint, raced everyone, and then took his 2nd stop and didn't finish the race.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm kind of lost for words on that one. But we'll get pretty shortly to interviews. Really looking forward to these interviews, Haynes, because I don't think Paul Young would have expected that at all.
Normally, we speak to our race winner. He hasn't appeared yet. Let's take a look at what shaped the podium on the final lap.
This is an interesting one. So Ken kind of comes across, and then there's contact, and then there's another bit of contact after that. So Latta's expected that he's going to move over and give him that extra bit of room, and Justin's squeezed him the whole way, which he's right to do. So yeah, we're going to go on board with Ken and get a better view of this, but leave it. So we're going to watch the scenes in the middle and just see how much they move across. And yeah, Ken comes across over to the right, and yeah, there's just contact. And look, we'll leave that one to race control. At the end of the day, we're just the broadcast, but that's going to be a bit of an interesting one post-race, and see what they do with that incident, because yeah, that's definitely full on. But yeah, Ken Latta coming across and making major contact. to Justin McLean and getting that black flag, which did ruin his race at the end of the day. So, yeah, look, this will be very interesting post-race, and I don't think Justin would be too happy at all.
Yeah, a couple of incident point black flags coming in late in the race as well.
Yep.
But from watching it, I wasn't actually getting the impression that the drivers were racking up that many incident points. Now that it's post-race, I can see the numbers, and it's Fisher and McLean who went over it, but Dan Hall and Travis Hunt both sitting on, I think, 15 or 16x at the end of the race. So a few drivers were close. Where would they be getting those?
So they'd be getting that over turn 2 and 3. So if you go over the curb just a little bit too much, you do get an off track, which is the incident point. So that you can rack that pretty quickly. And obviously being 37 laps, that will be the main point, because you lose about half a tenth to a tenth through there if you don't do it correctly. So I'd say they've just gotten it from that. And turn 8 as well. That's another good one from our producer Dan, who raced the other night on Tuesday. So he
knows where all the off tracks are.
He experienced quite a bit on that night, so you'll have to ask him after the broadcast for that one. But yeah.
I know all of the places in Fortitude Valley that you shouldn't go to. Let's get to our podium. It doesn't seem like race winner Brian Borg is going to join us, which is odd because I'm pretty sure I've spoken to him before. I'd want to, spray some champagne around, but we'll get to second place Wayne Walker, who had to fight a little bit more in this race than some others, off the podium for a little bit there until it came back to you.
Yeah, that was a tough race. This is a track that I do struggle with a little bit. I think last time we raced here in Vets, I finished about 7th. So, the quali lap I pulled out, I don't know where that come from. But yeah, in the race, I didn't have the race pace of Borg or even Ken. But yeah, just was able to hold on for second, so I'm still happy with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Road Atlanta, really just a couple of corners you need to focus on, but each of them so challenging. Turns 1, 3, traction out of 7, massive downhill braking zone at turn 10, and we just noticed that a few drivers did get incident point limits at the end. So obviously, just 12 corners doesn't make it easy.
No, there's lots of spots on this track you can get an off track. I think I ended on about 13, so I was reasonably up there. But yeah, there might not be many corners, but to get every corner right is very hard. It's probably one of the hardest tracks to go fast consistently on.
Georgia is most famous for its peaches. What's your favorite way to eat peaches?
Just what are they? Golden Valley peach quarters or whatever they are. I don't eat like whole peaches. I don't really like the furry skin on them.
Good thoughts. Well done on second place. Consistent points across this season, and we'll see you next time.
Yep, thank you very much.
So I think what we'll do here, Connor, is we'll also get to third place, and you can quickly pick Paul Young's brain.
I will do that. Paul Young, mate, what an end to the race. Did you even think at all that you'd be on the podium?
I got to say first, I don't like being on the podium under those circumstances. So it's bad, a lot of bad luck for Justin and Ken. So I haven't looked at it. I don't know what the result's going to be with race control. But having said that, I was going flat out in that last stint to make up the gap, because I thought something could happen. Something definitely could happen, especially on the last lap. So, and I had make good pace near the end. So, and it did. So I'll still take it.
Yeah, definitely. Like at the end of the day, you went long, and then you just had the fresher tyres, two to three laps, and you went for it, and you definitely were there to capitalise. And at the end of the day, that's a part of racing. Unfortunate to Justin and Ken, though, that was a really big incident, and hopefully we'll see what happens with that with race control. But mate, that's that's what you want at the end of the day. Just rack up the points and just be there at the end of the day, really.
Sometimes your cards fall your way. So
Yep.
I'll take it. The first half of the race didn't. I think I took a bit too much fuel in that first stop, and track position counts for a lot here because it's so hard to pass. I had a little bit of a coming together with Justin and had to back out of it and let him had to redress, and then we were sort of off the leaders then. So yeah, made it a bit harder for myself, but yeah, it turned out okay.
It definitely seemed okay because at the end of the day, podiums are never bad. Hey mate, who would you like to thank for all your efforts and everything else, mate?
Thanks my team, Phase 4 Motorsport, and Kenny, who we've been doing a lot of practice with this week, and with Jamie as well, getting into the groove for this track. Thank you guys for the broadcast and all the admin team at V8 Vets. Thanks, guys.
Thank you so much, mate. Paul Young, P3.
Great to hear from 2/3 of our podium, even if one of them wasn't really expecting to be there until about one corner to go. Our US swing continues in V8 Vets because they're going to the streets of St. Pete next week. That is going to be very interesting with these cars and with a grid of 40, and even quicker lap than here at Road Atlanta as well.
St. Pete's going to be an interesting one, Hainsey, because we don't really have much experience around here. I've done some IndyCar races around here recently, and it is a very hard track. So to see some 1,500 kilo V8 supercars get around here will be very interesting. I think it will be a lot of body roll, a lot of cars on the wall, and hopefully no blockage of tracks or the track. Sorry, but. Yeah, it should be a good race. St. Pete's always good to watch. We've seen over the years with the Indy cars coming here over the years. So, yeah, it should be good.
Now, before we leave Road Atlanta, though, can you please, Connor, throw me 3 suggestions for driver of the day?
Yep. Oh, you put me on the spot. I'm going to put a Paul Young. I'm going to put... Oh, you've really put me on the spot, too. I don't know. I maybe a Dan Hall in there, and then Brian Borg. Like seriously, he just took the reins of the race and just went from there. He didn't go backwards. He just went forward and didn't look in his mirror at all. So yeah, that'd be my top 3.
There's precedent for this too. I believe we gave Wayne Walker driver of the day on his first race win. So I think a perfectly executed race from Brian Borg, who will be M1 Used Cars Driver of the Day from Road Atlanta. M1 Used Cars are a supporter of the Balin Stewart Foundation and the sponsor of Driver of the Day in V8 Vets. And from round 3, it goes to Brian Borg. Well, that will wrap us up from Road Atlanta. Brian Borg takes his first race win. 2 quality drivers collide, battling for the podium on the final lap. The Clean and Ken Latta might both have a sour taste in their mouth from that one, but Wayne Walker keeps racking in the points to keep his championship lead, and Paul Young sneaks onto the podium. Great battles throughout, and you never have to wait long for your next dose of RaceKraft Simulations V8 Vets. We're going to St. Pete, VIR, and Long Beach for the next 3 rounds that should prove so exciting. The primary sponsor of V8 Vets is, of course, RaceKraft Simulations. We're also supported by great partners like Logitech G, Nova Sim Sports, Parramatta Isuzu Ute, Project Fade Streetwear, whose safety car was not needed today, but did get a good run at round 1 at Mount Panorama, M1 Used Cars, and LGC Images. I've been David Haynes with Connor Nixon and Daniel Yeaman for SimSpeed TV and the Split 1 broadcast of V8 Vets. We'll see you next week on the streets of St. Pete.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.